What the hell does Warren know about retirement?
Even with his children in leadership positions, it doesn't look like Arnault is ready to retire just yet.
Age really isn't much of a deterrent. It's a deterrent to everything else.
Imagine making all the money in the world and still working tirelessly till you're old and feeble. From the rush to retire by 40 to the new norm of delaying retirement into the deathbed. This is the evolution of the new American dream. Could this be the new addiction after drugs and sex? In this video, we'll delve into the shocking reality in the pursuit of wealth. But before we continue, do like this video and subscribe to this channel. For the average worker, retirement represents the long-awaited light at the end of the career tunnel, a reward for decades of labor where you build up a bird's nest for the new chapter of leisure, travel, and spending treasured time with family. Yet for those at the pinnacle of wealth and success, the conventional concept of retirement seems to lose its luster entirely. From tech titans like Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg to veteran business magnates like Bernard Arnault, many of the world's richest billionaires have stubbornly continued working. This is no doubt a paradox that defies the very purpose most people desire to make extreme wealth. If not to eventually exit the rat race, then what drives these billionaires to grind well past conventional retirement ages? Let's see. For a lot of billionaires, the relentless pursuit of ever greater wealth and success has moved from being a means to an end into an insatiable hunger. And now, no matter how high their net worth soars, breaking through a new threshold becomes the new goal. An obsession with perpetually moving their high score higher. According to science, this perspective stems from complex psychological drivers, addiction to professional achievement, ego-driven need for status, or maybe just brain chemistry that thrives on the dopamine hits of getting material things. Whatever the underlying impulse, there are a subset of the ultra-wealthy who subscribe to the belief of you can never be too rich. For these individuals, every attainment is simply a step towards setting a new and even bigger target to restart the cycle once more. Jeff Bezos exemplified this mentality when asked why he refused to take it easier after becoming the world's wealthiest person. As he once said, "You don't choose your passions choose you."
Well, so first of all, you don't choose your passions choose you. And all of us.
No drive for status. I just am excited by the potential for there to be software that aids in human creativity and cognition. To those driven by insatiable greed or ambition, any talk of retirement is nonsensical when there are perpetually greater heights to ascend. For many billionaire CEOs and founders, the ultimate lure of continued work boils down to a simple matter of stimulation and daily motivation. While a lifestyle of retiree-style travel and hobbies would be more than enough for regular people, for the wealthiest titans of industry and finance, it would not be enough in comparison to the unmatched adrenaline rush of being at the absolute apex of global business and economic power. There are individuals who have spent decades grinding their way up through the white-collar trenches, climbing to the peak of the business world. At that level, their whirlwind day-to-day consists of ultra-high-stake deals, meeting with political leaders and cultural icons, and overseeing revolutionary technologies or financial innovations, reshaping industries across the world. It's the kind of energy that is utterly irreplaceable for many once they've had a taste. Also, studies have shown that the average CEO clocks 62.5 hours of work per week. Now, that may seem like a lot. Yet, the day-to-day experience of a chief executive leading a billion-dollar corporation is a world apart from what an average CEO does. So for those who have endured the pain to ascend to these heights of power and influence, to simply retire can feel like nosediving to an abrupt, purposeless end. So while the average worker might see permanent vacation and retirement as a goal, for the billionaire elite, it's not a consideration. With such immense fortunes already accumulated, their motivation shifts to even greater heights of ambition and potential legacy. Soon, retiring feels like an unsatisfying endgame, when there are worlds left to conquer before eventually walking away. There is a saying that with great wealth comes significant influence. This applies to both social and economic influences. Many billionaires view their position as a platform to affect change, whether through philanthropy, activism, or business innovation. And retirement might limit their capacity to influence global or local issues effectively. In all honesty, for some founder billionaires, the decision to keep working isn't necessarily one driven by ambition, but one of necessity, at least in the short term. A significant number of today's wealthiest individuals have the majority of their net worth intrinsically tied to the companies they created and took public or raised funds for. And while their equity stake may be worth billions on paper, converting that into liquid cash outright is no simple task. So those looking to retire and cash out face a handful of somewhat undesirable options, such as to sell the company outright, whether through an IPO or acquisition. And even though it is the clearest path to unlocking their equity value, it's a long and involved process that requires entrepreneurs to remain at the helm of affairs for years to ensure smooth transitions for the new owners. Then they would pay themselves dividends from the company's profits and cash flow. Yet, doing so bleeds capital that could otherwise be reinvested into growth, hindering the ability to accrue even greater wealth down the line. The reality is, for founders sitting at top companies they took from zero to billion-dollar valuations, there is no clean way to abruptly cash out and ride off into the sunset. Even if their extreme wealth means they have no personal need for the paycheck. Their path to retirement remains obstructed by the very asset that minted their fortune in the first place, the golden handcuffs of their own wildly successful creation. According to George Walper, president of Spectrum, there are two broad reasons for the retirement denial of the rich. First, he said, many of them own businesses that they cannot easily leave. If they retire, the business fails, so they have little choice but to keep working until they have a succession plan or buyer. But generally, the main reason is that entrepreneurs love their work and can't imagine life without it. Most of these people enjoy working and are very involved in the businesses. To them, it isn't really work, unlike those in the lower income bracket where a job is just a job. Today, corporate America is filled with founders over 70 who are still active in their companies or in business. From David H. Murdoch, the 90-year-old CEO of Dole Food, to the 90-year-old Sumner Redstone at Viacom, and the 71-year-old casino tycoon, Steve Wynn. Walper added that even among top earners who say they're retired, many continue to serve on boards, advise their companies, or work the phone several hours a day. Without forgetting to mention that they also may be doing more of their business from a more pleasant spot, like their pool in Palm Beach, rather than a corner office. To them, retirement is simply working 5 days a week instead of 7 in a more relaxing environment. So, which is better, retiring early or retiring late? Early retirement may seem like a dream come true for many people, but it can also come with its own set of challenges and drawbacks. One of the essential things to consider when retiring early is financial security. If you retire before you are eligible for full Social Security benefits, you may have to rely on your savings to support yourself. This can be especially risky if you have not saved enough money or if you have not properly planned for the possibility of early retirement. Consider, too, whether you'll be giving up benefits or perks like better health care coverage, employer-sponsored life insurance, stock options, or profit sharing. Retiring early will impact your retirement income in other ways, too. Not only will your retirement savings need to last you for more years, but if you begin drawing Social Security before you reach full retirement age, you will receive fewer benefits than if you waited. Even though early retirement frees up your schedule, you may have to make sacrifices in order to make your savings last. This could involve changes to your lifestyle. For instance, you may have to forego your plans for more expensive activities like travel and certain hobbies. The cost of early retirement could also include the value of the non-monetary benefits of work, such as the sense of purpose, social interaction, and structure it provides. Without a job, it can be easy to fall into a routine of leisure and relaxation, which seems enjoyable at first but can become monotonous over time. And many retirees find that they miss the sense of purpose they derive from their careers and social connections. Losing these can leave retirees feeling isolated, lonely, or unfulfilled, and even result in a decline in mental and physical health. While it's true that retiring later will allow you to sock more away in your retirement account, it's not without its costs. One big downside is that you'll have less time to enjoy the money you've worked so hard to save. And by continuing to work, you may miss out on opportunities to travel, take up a new hobby, or spend time with friends and family. Also, as you get older, your risk of developing health problems increases. If you wait too long to retire, you may find that your health prevents you from fully enjoying your retirement. For example, many billionaires fall victim to the one more year syndrome, where they repeatedly plan to work just one more year until they are eventually forced to retire due to a health issue. One consideration many don't take into account is that the older you are, the harder it may be to get or keep a job. Unfortunately, if you're not one of those billionaires, as an elderly person, you may have a difficult time finding meaningful employment and may instead have to take a menial job that doesn't match your skills or experience. So though you're still working, your pay and job satisfaction may be nowhere near what they once were. Essentially, if you prepare to continue working without retiring or retiring late, be a billionaire. That's it on why billionaires have refused to retire. What do you think about it? Do like this video and subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Where money matters, we'll see you on the next one.